When the world contradicts our belief system, rather than alter our beliefs, we distort our world to protect them. For example, if I believe that my style of dress is classy and sophisticated, but a friend makes a joke about my shirt, I reassure myself they know nothing of fashion. If all of my friends tell me that I look odd, I convince myself that there's an awful lot of tasteless people out there and I've got to get some new friends. This is a simple example of seeing the world through fashion-tinted glasses. The world around us has to make sense, but when it doesn't, and our belief system is strong enough, we'll distort the world before we change our beliefs. This type of distorted thinking is true of all aspects of being human, and it's such a common feature that cognitive psychologists have devoted a lot of time and effort to researching and understanding the phenomenon. Referred to as cognitive distortions, we can just as easily think of them as thinking errors, and the more you explore your own thoughts, the more you'll realise that you have your own style of distorting reality. I can say that so confidently because everyone experiences thinking errors. Most of us are just very reluctant to admit it. Conditions such as anxiety, depression and persistent pain inevitably lead to very strong, sometimes unshakable belief systems, because our beliefs have a protective purpose. They're fused to our emotions to ensure survival biased behaviour. Imagine you're out having a drink with a friend and you're having a nice time. At 10 o'clock, your friend says, "Sorry to cut out on you like this, but I've got a really early start tomorrow. I'm going to have to get off home." You think to yourself, "I'm so boring, people would rather have an early night than stay out with me." You've jumped to this conclusion without any evidence that your friend thinks you're boring. What's more, you've overlooked the fact that your friend has made the effort to spend time with you, even though she has to be up early the next day. By the way, you've also been mind-reading your friend. This type of thinking maintains your belief system and ensures that rather than see things as they are, you see them as you are. It's as if you're viewing the world through anxiety-tinted glasses, which distorts information before it enters your brain. Picture the scene. You're back at work after a day off because of back pain. You pass a colleague on the stairs and say hello, but he doesn't respond. You jump to the conclusion that he's annoyed with me because I was off work sick yesterday. However, you have no evidence for this, and your colleague could be preoccupied with any number of things. Your anxiety-tinted glasses have distorted your reality, and you're seeing things as you are rather than as they are. As we've seen, the world around us has to make sense, but when it doesn't, and our belief system is strong enough, we'll distort the world before we change our beliefs. There is, of course, no way of being sure what another person is thinking, so it's easy to impose thoughts and opinions upon them. In the absence of any objective evidence, our brains are great at filling in the blanks. So when a person is walking along the street toward a bus stop, on seeing a bus pulling in ahead of him, he can begin to feel anxious about the impending public exposure. As he passes the blank faces on the bus, thoughts of, "This is embarrassing, they'll all think I'm so fat," tumble easily into his anxious mind. A more specific form of jumping to conclusions, mind reading is a common function of the brain, helping us to maintain order in our lives and, more specifically, our belief systems. For example, if you've ever had an interview, you might know how it feels to come away thinking, they were impressed with me, a mind read. Or maybe if things didn't go so well, they'd already made up their minds about me, another mind read. All around us, all of the time, there are good things happening and not such good things. Those of us with anxiety and depression maintain our worldviews by deleting the good and focusing on the bad. This isn't a criticism, just a clinical observation. Imagine you've given a presentation to a group of colleagues who are all asked to give written feedback. From 10 colleagues, 7 rate your presentation as good, 2 as average, and 1 below average. You focus on the lower ratings, even though 7 out of 10 were obviously impressed with you. You tell yourself you have poor presentation skills and you're lucky to have a job. What do you do when you score 70% in an exam? If you say, I got lucky there, you've just minimised your achievement. Alternatively, you might say, that exam was really easy. Anyone could have passed it. Again, you've just done some minimising. Maybe you then speak to a friend who received a similar score on the exam, who tells you how pleased she is with the results you both gained. Of course, she breezed through the exam easily because she's intelligent and hard-working. She's just saying this to make you feel good. This style of thinking helps you to maintain your belief system that you're inferior to others. Minimising, also known as discounting the positives, is a style of information processing that sometimes ensures you maintain a sense of hopelessness and sometimes helplessness. That sounds like a terrible thing to say about anyone, but it's vital you remember these thinking errors are not the conscious product of your logical mind. You don't choose to think this way. No, these thoughts are the subconscious product of a brain that has changed to accommodate anxiety and depression. I've said this before, I know, but the job of your brain is to keep you alive, and it has 2 big guns in its armoury: emotions and pain. To keep these fully charged, your brain very cleverly produces thoughts that are guaranteed to perpetuate both.